Welcome to Mental Health Moments. The subject before us this time is triggers. We'll be right back. Hello once again and welcome. You're watching Mental Health Moments and we are happy to have you along with us. If you're already a subscriber, we're glad that you're back. If you're new to us, we're glad that you're here and we hope that our time together tonight is going to be effective in you and in everybody else who we talk to. As always, everything that we offer is informative and it is not meant to be a diagnosis, nor is it meant to replace anything that your doctor or your therapist has offered to you for treatment. So just listen and see what you hear, and if you hear something that helps, then we're glad. The subject we're focusing in on this time is triggers. Now for the older people, triggers, that's not Roy Rogers' horse. Triggers is a word or an action that creates a response in you. So what I wanted to do this time is to offer some of those triggers and see what they may say in your life. If you're writing some things down, you might want to write down any one of these things that creates a response in you. I'm going to give you a few of them, one right after the other, and let's just see what speaks into your life. The first one is stress. As you know, stress is one of those buzzwords that we hear constantly in our culture. I don't know very many people that are not affected by it, so is that a trigger for you? Anxiety, tension, burnout. We're hearing more and more people talk about how burnout is affecting them in their lives. We're seeing all around us this word, meltdown. Have you had a meltdown recently? Have you seen someone involved in a meltdown recently? Sometimes when people hear that word, it triggers a response, or dread, or fear, or pressure. What about nervousness? Nervousness is something that most people deal with, but unfortunately don't like to admit very often. Distress. People find themselves in distress for various reasons. Maybe you're in distress right now, or you know someone who is. What about panic? A panic attack, when people find it hard to breathe, they can't collect themselves, they can't focus, they can't bring themselves back to normal. Apprehension. You just have this overwhelming feeling that something is not good is going to happen. Trouble or worry or trials or distress. All of these things are triggers. Depression. Sometimes when people think about depression, it causes a response. It is a word that creates a response in them. Suffering or hardship. All of these are trigger words that are becoming way too common in our culture. Now, one of the reasons that we're going after this today is because one of the benefits of triggers is that they show us something. They show us where we might need some help. If you're triggered by stress or if you're triggered by tension, it shows us that we might need some help in that area. We're not free, we're not strong, so that's why we're dealing with this. When we started Mental Health Moments, we said that we wanted to bring together three things: the spiritual, the mental, and the practical. So let's do that. Let's start with spiritual, because spiritual is the area that I'm most familiar with. As we talk about stress, tension, anxiety, pressure, distress, worry, and all of those kinds of things, I think that one of the greatest spiritual tools that we have is prayer. To pray. When you start to pray, it has an immediate calming effect on you. I know that you've noticed this, and maybe you're a person of prayer, maybe you're not. But if you are a person of prayer, then you know automatically that when you turn that prayer into a reality, when you start to pray, immediately your nerves begin to calm down, the stress begins to fade, because you're trusting God. You're trusting that something good is going to come out of this. That is the spiritual. In the mental, as we deal with stress, tension, pressure, and anxiety, all those triggers that come our way, developing some coping skills. Learning how to recognize what it is that is triggering you in those areas before they overwhelm you. So when you start thinking about something that is stressful, a coping skill for you may be to remind yourself that it's not as bad as you think, that you can ground yourself in that moment. You can start thinking those grounding thoughts that I'm here, I'm okay, I'm not stressed out, it's going to be all right. That is the mental. The practical. A practical response to all of those things is to ask yourself, in reality, well, what's going on? What is really happening in this moment? If I'm stressed, why is it that I'm stressed? If I'm anxious, why is it that I'm dealing with anxiety in this moment when I wasn't just a moment ago? Is it temporary, or is it an ongoing issue? Is it something that is happening right now, or is it something that has been building for a while? Is what I'm feeling real or imagined? don't be offended by that, but sometimes the feelings that we have, they are not real. They are imagined. They are thoughts that are starting to spin out of control. Am I overworked? Sometimes when we find ourselves overworked, we can find tension and anxiety building in our lives. Or this, watch this now, am I dehydrated? Now here, this is as practical as it gets. Water, a glass of water, a bottle of water, look it up. This is your homework. This is your homework. Read the effects of water in your life and on your life. A study recently found out that people who drink 5 cups or more of water per day were at a lower risk of depression and anxiety. So you say, well, wait a minute, that's what I've been missing in my life. It's true. Panic attacks usually have physical triggers, and one of those triggers is dehydration. And so what we find is that the sight and the sound of water has a calming effect. So all of those friends of yours that you see that get up in the morning and go watch the sunrise at the beach, there's a reason. Just doing something in the middle of your stress, like drinking a glass of water, it has an immediate calming effect on your life. So tonight we're looking at those triggers. We're talking about the spiritual, the mental, and the practical. I'm giving you some homework to go and do some research on that, so I hope that our time together tonight has been helpful for you. If you think that it has, let us know in the comments section. If there is something else that you would like to know more about, let us know in the comments section. If you wouldn't mind, press the like button, the notification button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe so that you'll get a notification whenever we drop a new video. We're going to be dropping a new video every Sunday evening, every week. So thank you for being there. Share this and let somebody see it. And we will see you next time on Mental Health Moments.